before we get into all of that, I want to ask, what are you thinking of all the news going around in wrestling these days? There's been lots of rumor and innuendo in wrestling. What's your take on current wrestling? What's getting your attention these days?
Um, I guess the only thing I mean, I watched. I missed the show last Tuesday. I watched Raw last night. I mean, I'm happy for the guys. The ratings are good for the most part. I think, especially against Monday Night Football. I know SmackDown has been killing it. So, um, I feel like they're in a good place. I like the stuff with Finn Balor a lot. I'm a big fan of Finn Balor's. I didn't know that kid until I got to spend more time with him at Ashley's wedding, and I actually had been interviewed by his wife, who was a commentator on a Spanish TV station in Mexico years ago. So, really like him. I kind of like that faction they have.
Yeah,
Saw AJ last night. He's back. I get Carl Anderson, and
Luke Gallows. Yeah,
Luke Gallows are back, and Bray Wyatt are back. I'm a big fan of Bray's. He's back. So, um, my take on AEW is that, and you can help me out with this, but I like Tony's letting the guys faction the the company. It seems like um, Jericho has his faction, and the Young Bucks, who are hotter than dynamite in the WWE. I sure would love to have, are doing their thing. Omega does his thing, and I that's kind of my take on it. I don't know. What do you see?
we we've got a big show coming up over in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
It's going to be Crown Jewel. Roman Reigns, you brought him up. He's going to be in there with Logan Paul. Logan Paul, of course, has been a YouTube megastar and fought Floyd Mayweather a few years ago. These Paul brothers really know how to get attention for themselves. As a matter
Yes.
of fact, his younger brother, Jake Paul, is going to be fighting Anderson Silva on pay per view this Saturday night, the
Yeah, I
29th.
know. I talked to both of them last week. They FaceTime me.
Oh wow, okay. So what do you think of Logan Paul mixing it up in WWE? Is that
I
good for
think he's done a
WWE?
hell of a job.
I do too.
I think he's done great. I mean, the stuff he did with the Miz, I didn't anticipate him being that good. Those kids are good athletes.
Yes,
My only advice to Jake Paul would be, don't call out Mike Tyson.
it's actually probably good advice for anybody. Not just
Anderson Silva, okay. I like Anderson. I know him personally, but I wouldn't want to mess with Mike Tyson. I see Mike all the time. that that might be more than he can chew.
Jake Paul is even calling out in the pregame show, if you will, like the countdown for his big pay per view with Anderson Silva,
uh,
saying when he's done with Anderson Silva and he shocks the world, which remains to be seen this Saturday on pay per view, that he wants Canelo or can't believe this is real, Conor McGregor. How do you think? How do you think Jake Paul would fare against one of those guys?
Conor McGregor, I think he could handle. I don't know about Canelo.
Nobody can handle Canelo.
Yeah, I don't mean it's because it's not. It's Conor can't use the wrestling skills. He can't use the submissions.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like Anderson Silva. I think he'll beat Anderson Silva because yeah, I think Anderson is more, from what I've seen of him, is more of a wrestler, submission type guy. Um, but it takes a lot of balls to do what they're doing. To walk off the inner tube, or walk off the strength of their YouTube and internet connections, and actually pull this stuff off. I think is great.
Totally
Good
agree.
for the business, and I hope they're getting paid right. It's like, I tell you who I never thought would be that good.